AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
This is Hartenstein's post in Instagram. If you don't see it on the replays, because I have to edit it out because I'm trying to get paid for every video. And by I mean we. I'm sorry.
Be formless, shapeless, like water.
You can't hear anything, right?
Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
You can't hear nothing?
Yeah, we can hear it.
I can't hear it. Okay, I'll adjust something. Go ahead.
No, it's your shit, OG. It's your shit. I only like that part. Yeah.
The career's more at stake when you in your past. Got that paper, baby, my face on the dotted line. I've been flying out of town for some peace of mind. It's like always, I just want a piece of mind. I've been focused on the future, never on right now.
Yeah.
So that's what our message was. We got to fix this up because I can't hear nothing. I'm glad you guys heard it because I didn't.
Yeah.
And this was Jalen Brunson's comment. I didn't catch this a couple of days ago. How dare you? How dare you, Jalen Brunson? Just drop these jewels.
Isaiah, but to break the bank. Isaiah, but
You
to
heard
break
him?
the bank. Isaiah, but to break the bank.
What's the context?
Isaiah, but to break the
You
bank.
can hear him though, right?
Why are you giving me this 2-second soundbite? What else did he say?
Come on, man. Even
What else
Jalen
did-
Brunson knows that Isaiah Hartenstein's about to get the bag. What you mean, Flea? Are you asking me what is the context? You want
What
some
did
more
he say?
context? Doesn't matter what he said. We have a show to run.
It
Flea.
doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Watch your mouth. Put your glasses back on, man.
My glasses
This
is on.
This is the context, fool. New York Knicks may not afford $100 million Isaiah Hartenstein
Good.
in free agency.
Good. I'm not paying him $25 million a year. Sorry. Bye.
Who? Sir Charles in charge. First of all, you cannot call yourself Sir Charles. Let's get this out of the way. If you can't see it, let's zoom in. Sir Charles in charge. You're a Knicks hater, Sir Charles, by default. Get out of here. Anyway, that was Michael Sands on June 1st. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
Looking back at the New York Knicks playoff run, which fell one game short of the Eastern Conference Finals in 24 years, entering the playoffs as a player that perhaps was not a household name across the league, that has now changed. That will be Isaiah Hartenstein. So according to Jake Fisher, there's a growing sense that the Knicks may not be able to afford Isaiah Hartenstein in free agency this offseason, considering that he could be in line for a $100 million contract with the extensions that the Knicks have to work on from Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, and possibly even Julius Randle. It's becoming increasingly unlikely that New York will be able to give Hartenstein a big contract that he could demand on the open market. The New York Knicks may have to find a replacement for Isaiah Hartenstein, and heading into the offseason in which the Knicks will attempt to find the final piece of their championship puzzle, there's all of a sudden a growing chance that may also have to figure out how to find a replacement for Hartenstein. All right, they didn't give me any more information, but the fellas is in the building. I don't appreciate you, StreamYard. What are you doing? You ruining my flow. Yeah, there we go. What do you guys feel? We heard that news. I see AllBall shaking his head. Flea was going crazy. Flea, what do you think? Because you're yeah.
See you later, my brother. Deuces. Yeah. You gotta be kidding me. Flea, let me jump in real quick. I want everybody to get as much money as possible. One thing I've never been my whole life is a hater. I wish we all could get $25 million a year. But we have to be realistic. Hartenstein, we cannot, I'm not going to say what he's worth and what he's not worth. That's none of my, I don't want to do that. But there's no way in the world we paying Hartenstein $25 million. It's no way in the world we paying him 20. Flea said it, and I totally agree with my brother. 15 to 17 and a half, maybe 18. I think that was the first report, 4 years, 72, or a little over 72, which was reasonable. But there's no way in the world, even if we could afford it, we're not doing that. Listen, I like Hartenstein. I'm not in love with Hartenstein, pause. I like him. But like I said last live, he got exposed to me. He's very limited offensively. He's good defensively in spots. But what Embiid did to him, like my brother Flea said, with one leg and one eye, I can't forget that. I'm sorry. I cannot forget that. And we needed you to Yo, y'all
I tried to hold it together.
Nah,
Baby.
You can't just keep stick. Don't blame me. You started it. Man. You started that. One leg and one eye is nuts. He's a pirate.
We gotta watch my brother over here, man. But in all seriousness, we needed you guys to come through for one game at home against bum-ass Indiana. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to always say that. And they didn't come through. Now, once again, if Hartenstein was some of a threat, at the 3-point line, I don't even think he's averaging double digits. So for me, I get it. But we cannot afford that. We will not afford that. And I know for a fact, it's no way in the world. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think no one's giving him that.
That's why I disagree with you, OG. Somebody's gonna overpay for what he brings. Now, I look at us like we can't overpay for that. Like, he's a fringe starter, right? I don't think he's turned himself into a bona fide starting center in the NBA after what he did this season. He was great for us. So let me start by saying this. This is not an indictment on Isaiah Hartenstein. We loved everything that he did for us this season. Right. Mitch went down really, really early. He stepped in and played at the best of his ability, right? Battled down there in the blocks, rebounded well. I know you said he got exposed defensively against the former MVP, but throughout the entire season, he really held his own down there on the defensive end, and he was part of us being really good on the defensive end, defensive rebounding, all that kind of stuff, right? He was a part of us being a 50-win team, being a 2 seed. So it's nothing against him, but we know who you are. We know that, like you said, OG, he's limited offensively. He's a great screen setter. He's probably one of our best passers, right? He understands how to play basketball, but nothing about him, he can't stretch the floor, right? You can't put him in a position where you do throw the ball down to him in the block and say, go get us a bucket. So he's a big body, right? He's somebody out there that you can play high minutes because, he plays his ass off. But I just can't see myself getting in a position where he's a guy that's making over $20 million for us. Not for if everything was to go right for us in terms of health in our rotation, Isaiah Hartenstein wouldn't be in position to make $100 million. He just wouldn't be in position to do that if Mitch was healthy. So, he played his way into a really solid deal. I'm gonna quote my brother Simon, like he always says, all money ain't good money. It's not. So if you think you're gonna take some money over here in Oklahoma City, if you think you're gonna take some money over there in San Antonio, take some money over there in Orlando, get paid. Like you said, OG, we always want these guys to get paid. But all money ain't good money. You go over there and you'll be a $25 million player, but you may not play. The rotation may not fit for you. You may be traded mid-season. Right? You're not the guy that somebody is going to invest in and then say, we're going to marry you and you're not going nowhere. He's never going to be in a position where he's untradeable, is what I'm saying. So I can't see us paying him $25 million knowing that we're going to have a situation with Brunson soon. We're going to have a situation with Randle soon. We're going to have a situation with a couple, we're in a situation right now with OG, right? Respectfully, Isaiah Hartenstein is the last of my worries in terms of making him $100 million guy. I can't do it.
Damn. I think the key part to that article for me was the Knicks looking for a replacement or a championship piece. And again, I just think we're a championship team the way that we are. It'll be more expensive when we do win the championship. Everyone will look at this differently if we won a championship. I think if we went to a championship this year, we were all healthy and we won, Isaiah Hartenstein would get the $100 million. He just would.
I disagree.
From the Knicks, no, hell no.
I disagree.
1,000%. 1,000% because your price goes up. His price already went up on this run. So imagine if they win. Now you have to deal with the competitor. He has a demand now, and the Knicks have to counter that. Also with the fact that Hartenstein jersey would have been crazy in New York. There's a lot of things that he did well. I was, what I said about him not being able to guard Embiid, but he filled in really well. He wasn't supposed to be a starter. He played the most minutes. It's not a promise for anybody to come to this team and do what he did. Josh Hart and the rest of these guys. Randle struggled, but Hartenstein, he stepped up. They found a way for him to go from, again, inside the paint, go to the top of the key, and be a dribble handoff guy and be the best facilitator on the team. So, yeah, $100 million, we might have to pay it because guess what? 2 years from now, after this NBA contract, listen, they're already losing inside the NBA. They're losing their marbles out here. They don't care about the biggest hit show in any sports history. They don't care about that when it comes to this NBA money. Why should Hartenstein lose out? As Jalen Brunson said, he's gonna break the bank. He deserves it. He deserves it. It's the man is out there. At the end of the day, it would be lovely for him to go, you know what? I'm gonna leave $20 million on the table just to ensure that we win the championship or whatever it is. I would love that. We will all love that. But Brunson took a discount for a reason. He knows he's Tom Brady. I gotta take a discount for my guys to line up in front of me and get this done.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I respectfully and totally disagree. I don't care what y'all know Brunson's my favorite player. But no matter what he does at this point, we can't give Hartenstein $25 million a year. I'm sorry. Now, if we got past Indiana and maybe was competitive in the conference finals and they got to the finals, maybe it could have been a talk at 20, maybe. But there's no way in the world he deserves $100 million. Him at 25 a year, if I'm not mistaken, that would be more than Brunson and Randle. Am I correct or incorrect?
Randle's making, I mean, maybe close to 30, or maybe a little over 30. Randle make good money, I'm sure.
I'll check his the new extension that Brunson has because it was definitely at $24 million.
Right.
Here, real quick, I got the link up. It was at 24 per year. Guys got to see it first. Okay, so it was at 24 a year, right? And they have like the reverse balloon effect where he's making 27, 26, then it's under 25, under 25. But the new contract, I guess, is not here on track yet. I guess it was just reported what the new contract was. It's not official for Brunson because this is on under 2020, 25, 26. He just re-upped. Was that? I guess it's not official. He couldn't sign it.
He didn't sign the extension yet.
Yeah, he didn't sign it yet. I know there was rumblings, right, of him going to take a pay cut and things of that nature, which I love. But I pass it to Flea. My thing is, at 25, if you're not affecting the game like Dennis Rodman, and then your peer, your partner, your brother on the same team, which is damn near a foot shorter than you, dominates the game better than you on both ends of the floor and rebounding, I'm sorry. I can't. I love Hartenstein. Like Flea said, this is no knock on him. But if you're not averaging a double-double, if you're not changing the game like a rock, I can't give you $25 million. I'm sorry. He don't even average double-digit rebounds.
Yeah, it's it would be hard pressed for me to be in a position where we're paying a guy that's coming off the bench and not the sixth man, not the energy guy, not the guy that's going to come off the bench and change the complexion of any game. He does that in other ways, but he's not a guy that's going to come off the bench and give you 20, 25 off the bench. You're like, damn, that affects the game. He's going to do little smaller things that affect winning, but not to the degree where I'm going to pay him $25 million. Like, for context, Draymond Green makes $25 million a year. And I know how all three of us feel about him, but put our personal aside, what he does on the basketball court, right? Would y'all be comfortable with him being paid the same amount as Draymond Green and what Draymond does for Golden State, Hartenstein doesn't nearly do for us. So I wouldn't feel comfortable putting him in that class of guys making over $20 million. If he goes and gets it from somewhere, God bless him. Great. Change your life, change your family's life forever. That's awesome. But I'm talking from a fan's perspective, from a guy that loves the Knicks and not just Hartenstein. No, I don't want him to put us in a position to do that.
I'm sorry, just real quick. I'm reading the comments, and I think Fabian alluded to it, and I hear a lot of people allude to this about the money, right? Oh, and this year, next year, whatever years, and the money goes up, and just because the money goes up, it doesn't mean you have to pay the person. We don't want to lose you, but just because it's there doesn't mean I have to give it to you. Once again, we lost in the second round, Game 7, at home against the bum-ass Indiana Pacers. And I emphasize bum-ass Indiana Pacers. I hate the Pacers. So for me, I just look at it like that. Just because the money is there, that don't mean we have to give it to him. No. Once again, take a page out of Brunson book. Take a pay cut. Let's fill out this roster. Let's grow this family together. Let's create this culture. And let's try to compete and be competitive and be relevant for the next 10 years. And let's go for a championship. But there's no way in the world we can overpay him, overpay OG. Then Brunson is coming up. We're going to have to figure out Josh Hart, DiVincenzo. Nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I agree with Flea. It ain't like I said, it ain't like you're going to be 6th man of the year, defensive player of the year candidate, most improved player. And once again, just for me, him not averaging double-digit rebounds is a problem for me.
I think again, if the most IQ would have gotten in this old market was $25 million a year, Flea, AllBall. Malik Monk. No, I'm sorry. Who was the kid that got not Brogdon? What's the guy that went from Boston to Portland?
Brogdon.
The 6th man. Oh, it is Malcolm
Brogdon.
Brogdon. So Malcolm Brogdon commanded the same amount, which is why Flea said, it might be too expensive to keep IQ, right? And at this point, who do you think was more valuable in their Knicks tenure? Isaiah Hartenstein this season or IQ during his tenure?
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's a fair question. Only reason why I say that, bro, I think it's witty. I think it's clever. I think it's a Fabian question, right? That's the type of shit you do. But I don't think it's fair, right? Because Hartenstein got an opportunity of a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? He got an opportunity of a lifetime. You feel me, bro? Like Mitchell Robinson went down in damn near Thanksgiving, and he had an opportunity to step in and what did he start? Like over 50 games this year? He started a lot of games this year. So he got put in a position where we could really see what he looks like with extended minutes. I'm just saying that, like, we can't even we don't even IQ had his best year last year, right? 15 points off the game. He was like a top 3 candidate for 6th man of the year, right? So he had an amazing year last year. Came back this year, was playing well. I know that we took a hit defensively, and he wasn't the greatest, right? So you had to sacrifice him to get a guy like OG. But I mean, to flat out answer your question, I think long term, IQ would be more valuable than a Hartenstein. I just feel like we could go find another Hartenstein. You can't go find a bunch of guys like IQ. You can't. A guy like the Tyrese Maxey, a guy like, you know what I'm saying? And I know Maxey is a better player, but I'm just saying those type of guys, specifically them guards coming out of Kentucky, right? You don't miss. Very rarely do you miss with them guys coming out of Kentucky. So I don't know. I would much rather have a guy that could score it, a guy that is another ball handler. I would much rather him than Hartenstein. We got 2 first-round picks. I think we could find another Hartenstein.
You know what? You know me, Flea. I love that question Fabian just asked.
Yeah.
Right? That that's my repertoire.
Yeah. But
to be honest, I think they both kind of might have played equally. Was just as important because last year Quickly really stepped up. This year Hartenstein really stepped up, but they both didn't step up when the time was needed. Last year in the playoffs, Quickly wasn't as good as he was during the season, and then Hartenstein, them games against Philadelphia, and then the Indiana, like I said, Game 7 at home, those games you got to win. So I think it's a fair question. And Flea, I'm gonna be honest. I think you could find a Quickly just as much you could find Hartenstein.
I don't think so.
No, but let me say this. I never liked the comparison of Quickly being almost or just as good as Maxey. I don't even think that's close. I think that's not fair to Quickly.
Now.
But I never thought that though. I never thought that. I think Quickly is whatever class Maxey is, that level of scoring at that position, all the guards that's like that. I don't think Quickly he's a tier under or maybe a tier and a half under that. I don't see him being able to do that. Remember, Maxey, all right, let me ask y'all a question. Do you see Quickly being able to be the number one option on a team, let's just say for 20 games, and come out victorious and have a good percentage, maybe going 12-8, 10-10?
Could you be a good team with Quickly being your number one option? I don't think so. Could you be a good team with Maxey right now being your number one option? I do not think so. I don't think you could be a good team with Tyrese Maxey currently being your number one guy. Who's your second guy next to him, not named Embiid? So who's your second guy next to Maxey, and you are a 500 team? Let's say you over 500.
Hold on. So I'll concede that point. I'll concede that, right? But now let's make him the second best player on the team.
Okay, second best at currently speaking.
Which
right now, if your second best player is Tyrese Maxey, it's a step over IQ. I don't have no argument with that. I'm just saying, coming out of Kentucky, those two guys together in the backcourt, when they was together, they were the same tier coming out, drafted around the same time. And then Maxey said, pew, you know what I'm saying? He just was that much better. So no, I'm not arguing that. I just don't think that right now Maxey is at the space where he can be a number one guy and they be a halfway decent team.
So there's a lot that comes with that. By the way, Hartenstein played just under 50 games, 49 games. He started just under 50 games. He started 49 games. And the reason why
I was talking about Kentucky guards. I know Kevin Knox was trash. We're clear on that. I saw the comment. I was talking about Kentucky guards. So I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all, but I was talking about the guards, y'all.
I should have wrote it down. I like writing down points when you say it, because the point that you made, Dan, was a point that you made that I forgot, but I was trying to equate the value, because it's like in a Tibbs lineup, I think Hartenstein is more irreplaceable than an IQ, because it's Tibbs don't play. Bro, when he doesn't like your style, he wants you out of here. He wants you out of here. And IQ, he went through all of that. He went through all the rigmarole and everything, all the challenges of being a Tibbs guy at the point guard, at the guard position, which is probably, I want to say, harder to do, because a lot more is asked of you. You got to be a Maxey kind of scorer, Brunson kind of scorer to survive in his style of offense. But the front court, we've seen him make Achua, Hartenstein, Mitchell Robinson, Randle, countless amount of guys, Joakim Noah, Taj Gibson, keep going down the line. Countless amount of guys that he can turn you into something if you're willing to, and it feels like it's a dime a dozen. It feels like if you buy in, it's over, because you're big, you're strong, you're mobile, you can pass the ball. Tibbs can figure you out more if you're Hartenstein, and it will be harder to find, I think, an IQ in the Tibbs system, regardless. So I only asked that to get to a point where it's like, damn, maybe you guys are right. Maybe it is easier to find the Hartenstein, even though he might be more valuable for a Tibbs guy. The Hartenstein guy is out there for him.
Well, let me ask OG this question. If that is the case, let's say we do it, OG. Let's say we break the bank, and let's say we do 80 for 4 years, right? And he's making $20 million for the next 4 years, Hartenstein. Would you be okay with him coming off the bench playing behind Mitchell being paid more money than Mitch? What do you do? What do you do in that situation? How do you, if you're Tibbs, if you're Leon, if you in the front office, you part of that brat. How do you navigate that? Because I don't know. That's my thing. If I'm gonna pay the dude, guess what? And I'm gonna leave it to you. I want to hear what you got to say. If we do say, hey, we're gonna pay him $25 million, make him $100 million man. How do we justify paying him that and not starting him? At that point, you got to start him over Mitchell Robinson. Now, how do we feel about that? So that's my question to you.
That's a great question. Now, at 25, he has to start. There's no way in the world you're coming off the bench at 25. But I think at 20, if he's backing up Mitch, he can still play starter minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Flea. This is what we've been talking about for this last couple weeks. We have some problems at hand.
Yeah.
They're not detrimental. They're great problems to have, because usually with our Knicks, our problems are so out of control to where it's like we can't climb out of it or come back. But we have problems. We have guys that has had a career season, and now we got to pay him. And now we're stuck with, do we overpay him? Do we try to undercut him? It's a weird space, but we have to be honest. He cannot get 25. So to answer your question, 25, he would have to start. 20, he still got to come behind Mitch, but he can still play starter minutes. You get what I'm saying?
No, I'm following.
But this is a problem that we have, and you can't knock a guy for wanting to go get the money.
No,
get all the money
not, because he may not never get another opportunity like this.
Exactly. Prime example, Bruce Brown. You can't knock a guy from going to get the money, but understand what you're doing when you do that.
Yeah.
So for me,
Indiana moved him before the All-Star. How fast? I mean, what deal was he a part of for Siakam? Right, he was the part of the Siakam deal.
Yeah.
They got him out of there quickly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, great question. The front office, Tibbs, listen, they got to figure this thing out to keep everybody happy. Because, for me, I think Mitchell Robinson is our starting center.
If we slightly overpay Hartenstein, Fabian, are you okay with a high dollar guy coming off the bench as opposed to starting over Mitch?
I think we got to do what works. We can't we just can't overlook that. That's the thing I'm tired of. Like we seen with Carlisle, you didn't play TJ McConnell enough. With Tibbs, I have my criticism with the minutes. Spoelstra does what works. He sees what doesn't work and he eliminates it. I'm not doing that again. So if it takes a high price guy to come off the bench, remember, that's what's hurting the Timberwolves with Gobert. You might not have made the finals because you didn't bench his ass. Let's be real about it. When we're talking about a 4-time defensive player, yeah, all that's nice and all. That's why we don't argue that. At a certain point, we go, what does all those shiny things mean when it's time for the grit and the grind? Cat, number 1 overall pick, $50 million. What does that mean when we hate the way you play? We hated the way Julius Randle played. Now he's starting to earn that contract for us because we've been rooting for you for this long. You booed us, we booed you back, whatever the case may be. You do what works. I don't care about this high price. That, all that to me is crazy. And let's not forget, Mitchell Robinson is on a trading block as well. Great point. Let me go back to that. Mitchell, thanks, nostalgic Nick. Mitchell Robinson is on a trading block. So maybe you could fetch something for his contract or his situation.
I mean, at this point, I'm okay with trading Mitch. If we're talking about paying Hartenstein a substantial amount of money, giving him that type of deal, if that's how we feel, then we need to start thinking about moving Mitch and finding Hartenstein's backup. Wow. Or that's got to be the thoughts now, because Mitch is proven that he can't make it through a season. He's proven that, and I'm tired of people overlooking that. When he is out there, 100% healthy, ready to rock and roll, he plays amazing for us. But far too many times we find ourselves not in the position that we can be in because of Mitchell Robinson.
Wow, Flea, you just threw me for a loop with that. See, my thing is, listen, we gotta like with the big man position, we cannot have two bigs that are both limited offensively. We are not going to win a championship like that. So, like you said, Fleet, whatever we do, one of these big men got to at least have some type of offense.
Mm-hmm.
We can't have one guy that don't do no offense, and then another guy who's hesitant, like a Hartenstein, where one game he'll give you 15, and then the next 4 games you lucky to get 6 out of him because he's not even looking at the rim. And like what Fabian said, a la Minnesota, you got a guy like Rudy Gobert, where it's like on offense, it's 4 on 5. You're not even a threat. So we can overplay, we can over defend, we could. So I get what y'all saying. I like Mitchell Robinson more than Hartenstein, but Fabian, I agree. Both of y'all agree, but what Fabian said was totally correct. We got to do what we got to do to win. We got to do what works. Whatever it takes for us to be champions and become title contenders, we got to do it. No matter what that is. If it's getting rid of guys, if it's not overpaying guys, if it's overpaying guys, we got to do what we got to do.
Real
Slippery
quick,
slope, y'all. Slippery slope. Y'all know how slippery it could get. Pause.
Knicks Rehab, y'all. AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.